Welcome to the Midday Meltdown Party Over Here with J&J Video.
Good morning.
Morning, sis. How you doing?
I'm doing well, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Rise and shine.
Dude, I'm completely stoked.
Yeah, man.
I'm absolutely stoked. I
Well, why you
mean,
stoked, man? Tell everyone why you stoked, man.
I'm stoked because I made my first $50. Woo!
Hey, Lane,
Yeah,
congrats!
man.
Now you know the feeling now, so
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah,
it means.
it is absolutely amazing to feel like that you can finally take control of your financial freedom if you're just given an opportunity and given a skill um,
Yeah,
that can take you through the rest of your life. Because this is something, DZ, quite frankly, that has been going on since, stocks were even possible.
yeah.
So back in the day, I mean, Warren Buffett started trading stocks watching his father when he was a child,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to believe that, a young kid could know what he's doing. But if you watch and you learn, like what you're doing with me right now, which I so appreciate you for, my brother,
No problem.
you can get the skills that you need to go far, and to get the money that you need to do anything that you want to do,
You can. It's out there. It's out there. I mean, it's all about really, it's the beautiful thing we're in the about this is that we're in the age of information, and there's so many ways that we can teach ourselves really on how to make an income for ourselves, and one of these ways, is doing trading, options trading, being a day trader. Now, as you can see, it's not something that you're always going to be getting. You're not always going to be getting green days or getting a home run every single day. You know what I mean? You're
Right.
going to need some money sometimes, which is fine. But as long as you stay consistent on it and all that, and you learn from your experiences, because honestly, it's all about emotion. You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
pretty sure when you were making that $54, you wanted to make more money, right? But it's just being content with what you have right there. You know what I mean? Be like, you know what? Let me get out. You know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
plan for you was to get out at $50, and you're like, but you ended up making what, $4 more? That's great. You know what?
Yeah,
That's
we ended
great.
up making 54. And the beautiful thing
$4.
about it is, you end up learning to kind of have some restraint, you know what I mean? Because that I think right now in the beginning stages of this is what's going to be most important.
Yeah,
Not to let the market or what's happening in the market, because the market is already volatile enough.
yeah,
Okay, so you can't have two volatile entities together. It's just never going to come together. At some point, it's like I liken it to surfing. Look
yeah.
at the waves, up, down, crazy, barreling, doing all sorts of stuff. But what does the surfer do? He gets on a board and he rides it out. And
Exactly.
he learns to navigate that surf. He learns to navigate that wave. And that's exactly what this is doing. You don't go up and down. You have to at some point steady your feet on that board and learn how to move your board in such a way that you're remaining consistent.
Really.
Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to get swallowed up by the wave and sink.
Exactly. Exactly. It's very easy to sink. You know what I mean? Especially, and you will go through one of these days for sure. You go through your first big loss, right?
Yeah.
First big loss, you go through that, but you have me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you went out for a
Okay.
second
Sorry,
there.
sorry about that. Yeah, Siri went on my computer, so I was like, but yeah, but I was saying you'll go through your first big loss, and you have to go through your first big loss because you have
Hmm.
to go through that to really know, to really understand why trading it why trading makes you want to, you know, like why trading is not for everyone, you know.
Mhm.
But you have to go through it for the people that just want to make this quick fast money. It's not for you. It's not a get rich scheme, because it can easily be a get rich scheme for anyone that think that, oh, you can make money in a matter of a few seconds or a few minutes. You can make hundreds of dollars, but you can also lose some money if you don't have a strategy, if you don't know what you do, if you don't know your research, if you haven't done your research. Because like I said yesterday, it can turn into gambling if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's one thing making money, a few $100s, when you don't know what you're doing, and then losing it, right? But it's
Right.
another thing making money, knowing what you're doing, and losing money and no one knowing what you're doing, because at least you're able to learn from these experiences of what you did right and what you did wrong. So it's the beauty of it. And today was your first day, you made that money, and I think that's great. You know what I mean? Because it gets you on the right footing. But when getting you on the right footing, true, because I know initially you were losing some money as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you recoup that money. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that is the best experience that you can learn, because losing money and then making the money back, I think that's the best thing you can do. And you have this is a skill. This is a skill. What people don't realize, that this is a skill that you are building, and you only get better. You only get better. And the thing is, everybody out there in the market, no matter how many years you've been doing this, people do this. It's every day feels like a new day. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because the market throws us all types of curveballs, all types of curveballs, man. Like every day is a different day, man. So that's a beautiful thing. Not anyone is better than somebody else,
Yeah.
as long as you're making, if I'm making money, then so what does it matter? Does it matter what strategy I'm using? I have another strategy and you have another strategy. As long as I have a consistent income, that's what matters. If you're making money, and if that's what makes you money, at the end of the day, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Nothing else.
So let me ask you a
So
question. What is
yeah.
the main difference between what you would say, because I know you've done both. What would be the main difference between options trading versus like building a long-term portfolio?
With a long term, that's a great question. Shout out to Anthony King. What's good? What's good, brother?
Shout out
Um
AK-47. How you doing, honey?
yeah. So with long-term portfolio, it means that you have these are stocks that you bought like individually, right? That you only have for like, this is basically stocks that this is, I call that your growth portfolio, where you're actually investing in companies. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you're holding for the long term. So if you bought, for example, stocks of Apple, and you bought like $1,000 worth of stocks of Apple, those are your like long term stocks. You're planning to hold for these stocks for the long term. With options trading, you're not you don't own these stocks, like you don't own them. You're buying contracts, 100 like you're buying 100 shares in one contract, and you're pretty much holding it until you can sell it. You know what I mean? At a
Yeah.
certain point. So the best example, like I said yesterday, was with the contract, right? With options trading, you're buying the right at a premium to own these shares at a expiry date. You know, with with a long term portfolio, there's no expiration date. So you can buy these stocks and you can sell it at any time. With options trading, there's an expiration date to the with options trading. You have to sell these stocks on the month. There, like I said, there's weekly options, there are monthly options, and the yearly options. So you can sell it within a period of time. But with long-term portfolio stocks, you don't have to sell it um, at a given time. You can sell it anytime you want. You can hold it regardless of whether you're losing money or making money. The stock belongs to you. You know what I mean? Nobody else. But with options trading, you're buying the right to
It's
own.
almost like you're renting it.
You're renting it. Exactly. Exactly. So when the expiration date comes, you either have to buy those shares or you have to sell it. But depends on whether you buy a call or a put
It's
at
like
that.
you own 100 shares of stock on this company for about a day.
Yeah, yeah, but exactly.
Or
Exactly.
a week or
Or
a
we
month. And after that, you no longer own this. You either made money or you lost money.
you may made money or lost money. Now, when it comes to the expiration date, if you're still honing on the expiration date, you can either sell it at a loss or at a profit, depending, or you have the right to buy the shares at that price. So you can sell it at that price and recoup and make all the money that you made, or you can sell it at a loss, depending on whether you buy a call or a put. You know, and the $54 that you made, if you remember, it was on the call option. So for anybody that doesn't understand, Tesla was valued at current. It was like we bought it at um it was going up to like 165, right? A
Yeah.
strike price of 165. So we bought the stock for that. We bought the option trade cost us $1.22, right? We bought two contracts of that. So remember, we're not buying it at $1.22. We're buying it actually, we times it by 100. So we bought it at $122. If that,
Correct.
yeah. So times two, that's a total of what?
$244.
$244. Exactly. And we ended up selling it at $1.49, which is $149. So times two, that's if we have a guess,
$298. So
$198. Yeah.
you
Exactly.
guys are listening, right? We spent 244. We walked away with 298
Yeah.
in a matter of 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, 5 and 10 minutes. Yeah. And the stock was ripping. So
And it's
that's
not always going to be like that, but it was a matter of just watching it, getting in.
mhm.
And DZ was like, okay, cool. It looks like it's going up. So instead of, because we learned yesterday the difference between a call and a put.
Yeah.
Put is you're betting that the stock is going to pretty much, bottom out, and it's going to go below a certain point. But if you get in at that level, if it goes above what you paid for it, you're making money. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And
Exactly.
then obviously if it goes below what you pay for it, then you're losing money. I mean, to me, it's almost like no difference.
Mhm.
But I mean, I'm trying to in my head get the difference between what we did. Like the put is it's not going to go below. You're betting that it's not going to go below what it is that you paid for it or what it is that they're charging.
Exactly. Yeah. The put is basically if you're betting that the stock, say it's 163, and you're betting that the stock will go on 150. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you get a put for that, and but
So the stock is at 163, and you're telling the universe, for the lack of a better way to put it, you're telling the universe, okay, I'm looking at this stock. I know what's been happening in the news, and people just aren't feeling this stock. So I think it's not going to stay at that. I think it's going to go down. And I
yeah,
think it's going to go down to 153. That's the lowest I feel like it's going to go. But I do feel like it's not going to stay at this one. It's going to go down. And I
yeah,
feel like the lowest it's going to go is this 153. So you would go ahead and buy an option that
mm,
I guess is the closest to that price, right?
exactly. That's closest to that price, and it doesn't necessarily need to go to that price, but you're gonna be making money on the way down to that price. You know, and you can pull out anytime you want to pull out during that time. And the thing is, um, and you only do that based on, like I said, on the chart reading. Like
Uh-huh.
you learn, like you learn before later, the chart reading and the news as well, the sentiment, the Nasdaq. If it's a tech stock like Apple, Apple is a Nasdaq stock, so you rely on the Nasdaq chart, see how it goes and everything, and you'll make your decision from there. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And like I said, guys, this is not, when me and Sister JJ were not financial advisors, so this
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt, make your own financial decisions. We are
yeah,
not brokers. We don't, we're not financial advisors. So we're just giving our opinions based on our own personal experiences of
yeah,
what we're doing.
what we're doing exactly. So please seek a financial consultant or somebody that is because this involves obviously the buying and selling of financial security. So we want to make sure
Shout out
that
to my baby vegan knowledge, JJ. How you doing this morning, baby?
hey, vegan knowledge, Jen,
We're gonna try to free you from the plantation, Jen.
man, gotta be free from
I'm over here getting these skills, and we're gonna transfer them over to you.
for real. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. So yeah, guys. So yeah, it's just based on your research that you make. Like yesterday, we saw that the stock was going down. You know what I mean? So what we did was that we obviously, put out. You purchased an option put. And we were making that, like, at one point it was like $8. You know what I mean? You were making $8 and everything. But because obviously we sold it last minute. You know what I mean? We couldn't sell it at the
Right.
price that we needed to sell at. So this morning we went in at a loss of like $20, which is fine. So we ended up recouping that money, and you bought a call at a strike price of 160.
100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and and we bought it at so the cost of that call option was $1.22, and we bought two contracts, so that's $122. So $1.22 times 122 times two, that's 244, and we sold it at $1.49, which is 149. So what people need to get, and this is a good reminder for you, sis, is that you
So
don't need.
let me ask you a question, not to cut you off. So when we bought that strike price at 165, what does that mean? Because we paid 122. What are we saying, that it's going to go up to 165?
Yeah, $1.22 is just the price. So that's
Correct.
not
Okay.
related. Yeah, that's not related to this. Like, that's just the price. Now, um, we're like, the stock was at 163. It was trending towards 165. So you can decide to wait until you get to 165 for it to break even, but you don't need to do
Mm-hmm.
that. You can still make money on the up and get out. You don't necessarily have to wait until it gets to 165. You know what I mean?
Got
But
it.
you can make money as long as you're close to the money.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. You know what I mean? Because you're still making money. As long as you're close to the money, and that's what really matters. Because it's not out. It's common practice to not purchase contracts that are way out of the money. You know what I mean? Because you want to
When you say in the money, what do you mean?
like closer to the strike price that you purchase, like
Okay.
165. Yeah. So 165, we were at 163. So we were close to the money.
Got you.
We're close to the strike price. Yeah. So pretty much that's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to be within that range, closer to the strike price that you're going to be selling at, everything. But if it's at 165, and the stock right now is at 157, so that's a bit off 165, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to be making some money if it goes up, but you're not going to be making more. So you want to be closer. So you rather get maybe a 160 call if you're bullish, instead of a 165 call.
Okay.
You
Because
know,
if you're buying it at the same price, you're not making money, right?
yeah, you're not making that much. Yeah, exactly. And there's also other things to kind of measure that. There's the deltas, the Greeks that we call them in option trading. So the deltas are, it can get pretty pretty weird. So we'll do that for another stream, or I'll tell you that. But those are very important because the higher the delta, the better. So,
Is that the wave that you look at, the chart?
no, not like delta is like pretty much. Let me just give you a quick definition of what it is. That way you can have more of an understanding. So the um so basically the deltas are pretty much is um so with option trading, there is the delta, the gamma, and the vega, and and they're called pretty much the Greeks. So the delta, pretty much, for example, it measures the sensitivity of an options premium
Okay.
to a change in the price of the underlying asset, while the
Okay.
theta tells you how its price will change as time passes. So it's pretty complex, but pretty much that's what it is. Is again, the delta measures the sensitivity of an options premium to a change in the price of the underlying assets.
Okay.
So the option premium, you know, it, if it gets more expensive, um, and I will play a video sometime to explain that. But basically, your Greeks, you definitely want to get versed on your Greeks because that will be very important. So, but the higher the delta is, the higher chance you'll be making. There's a higher chance that you'll be making obviously some money on that stock. If it's a lower delta, if it's a much lower delta, the chances of you making money on that specific option price, strike price, you know, it's gonna be it's
Right.
unlikely. Yeah. So for example, on the one that we have right now, the 165 strike price,
Mm-hmm.
there was a higher delta because we were on 163. So there was a higher delta. So if it's a higher delta, it's gonna be, guess what? It's gonna be a more expensive option. So that
Right.
option that strike price that strike price that we had at 165, it had a higher delta, meaning that we had to pay a higher premium for that specific.
Like a stock like a Tesla would be a very high delta there, basically.
Yeah, like a stock with Tesla, for example, if Tesla right now is at, for example, $1,121, right?
Mm-hmm.
And right now it's currently on the down right now, and let's say for example we wanted to purchase at, we feel like it's going to go to $1,120, the delta for that will be very high because it's closer to that it's closer to it's close because right now it's 1,121, and if it goes down to 1,120, it's closer to that, so the delta will be very high, so we'll have to pay a higher premium for that
Got you.
specific option trade. Yeah, yeah.
This
So
is awesome. It's awesome stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So we'll cover that. I think with the Greeks, we'll cover down on another stream because it can get pretty complex. So I don't want to get you confused or anybody
Right,
else.
right, right,
You
right.
know, but yeah, pretty much that's what it is. Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Um, so yeah, but yeah, today you made a 50, you made a great $50. I will say, one thing people need to do, because remember we can't we were getting a bit caught up, in making more money and everything,
Yeah.
but we're able to manage our emotions right. You know what I mean?
Right. I kind of wanted to stay in there a little bit and see if we could take it to like $100, but it's like, you know what? The important thing to do is to just kind of set a limit for yourself. You know what I mean? So that you're not going up and down. It's like, if you set a limit of making like say $50 a day, for example, which if you you know, you the stock market's not open on the weekends, right?
Yeah, so open on the weekends. Yeah.
So you're from 9:30 to 4, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have between that time, Monday through Friday. It's like a day job for real. It's you have from between that time to, do what you need to do. And the thing that I learned yesterday was closer to closing time, stocks seem to not be as active.
Yeah,
Um, it's
it's
better
very
to,
slow.
yeah, it's better to get in early when the market opens.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like you said this morning, do your due diligence, get up at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and kind of look at some stuff and watch the news and see if there's anything that's happening with regards to the stocks that you're interested in.
That's right.
If
That's
there's
right.
any news that's affecting the stocks that you normally take part in, or if there's news affecting a stock that you haven't taken part in, but you know that it's going to affect that stock and you have the wherewithal to get involved, you might want to do that. So I understand watching the news, watching trends is extremely important.
Yeah, it's very important. Yeah, because that's very pivotal in the movement of a stock. And with options trading, it's all about movement at the end of the day,
Yeah,
as opposed to buying stocks and relying on the um as opposed to just buying daily stocks and everything. With options trading, you're pretty much relying on the movement, whether it's going to go up or down. You know what I mean? So
right,
um so, and knowing that you're only holding these stocks for a period of time, so you want to cash in, you know what I mean, depending
right.
um on how you do it.
Cash in, don't get tempted to stay in and go above what you set for your daily limit,
Yeah, exactly.
because that's where you end up letting greed take over and not, you know what I mean? Because, okay, say I stayed in and it did go to 100. That would make me want to continue to have that type of behavior.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to stay in because yesterday I made 100 when I stayed in. Well, today, if you do that, you might end up not only not making 100, but losing the 50 that you already made.
Exactly, because we did learn that you can, because right now it's at 162.74 Apple. So if you imagine, if you just decide to wait and make more 100, you will ended up losing all your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So definitely, you want to
Or
stick
you could get in and lose a bunch of money right away.
with a
That's
bunch of
another
money.
thing. You know what I mean? Make
Exactly.
sure you set a limit there too. Okay, I'm not going to lose any more than 50. 50 is my number. I want to make 50 a day. And at the end of the day, since 50 is what I'm making, if you look at it like, okay, I refuse to lose any more than $50. If I'm at a $50 loss, then that just means I've killed yesterday's income. So it's
Ex-
time to move on to tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah.
That way you're not losing what you've already built up in the previous days. Because the previous days you could have won 50, 50, 50, but today you lost 50 right off the top. So you still got 100 to the good,
Mhm.
but now you got 100 to go into to tomorrow. You know what I mean? And hopefully the same thing doesn't happen. You can take it back up and
Yeah.
make that 50 back. And at
Yeah.
that point, you may not try unless it seems like it's happening like that, but you might not want to, you might be tempted to try to make 100 to make up for the previous day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's where it's important to stay on your track of 50, 50, 50, 50.
Exactly. Like I went into that, you know, I always, like before then, I was always falling into that trap of trying to make the money that I was trying to recover the previous day of
Right,
on the previous loss. And that sort of thinking can be tricky, because how about if you end up losing more money, you know what I mean? So
absolutely.
I learned from these experiences, and that drove me to becoming more efficient and just sticking with my strategy. If that day, my goal is to make $50, I will come out and make $50. You know what I mean? And if my goal is to make $100 and I'm making $80 on the way, I'll get out at $80 if I want to, because guess what? I was closer to my goal. You know what I mean?
Right,
So it's
right.
being content with what you have at that moment, because it
And as you get better, you can go up with that,
go
obviously.
up with that, exactly knowing. if you did your research that day and you're like, you know what, based on the research that I make, I can go on this play, and I can make this. I feel like this stuff will go up to that amount of money based on the
Right.
price movement, based on my chart reading, based on my technicals, based on the news and everything. The stuff will do great, so I can make a sizable return, but also patience as well, because during the day you don't need to be only on an option trade for a few minutes. You can be on an option trade for a whole day, knowing that the stock will go up to the or go down to the because there's a lot of movements that can happen during the day. You know what I mean? So you don't need to get out early enough. You can wait. You can pretty much hold a stock if you want to. But that is your decision based on the research that you did, and you know and your conviction as well. That's really what it is. So it's each its to each one to each its own, man. You know what I mean? Everyone has their own decision that they can make. You know what I mean? There's no one size fits all type of thing. I
Right.
may prefer to stay on the stock for just a few minutes. That's fine. But I've been on one for I've been on the I've holded an option trade for overnight as well, and I ended up making money on the next day as well. It's everybody is different. Sister,
Yeah.
you may want to hold only an option trade for a few minutes, and that's fine, or a whole day, and because you have conviction that the stock will go up or go down to the price that you feel like you're going to sell it at. You know what I mean? So I can tell you what to do. It's each the stock market. Everybody is out there, you know, to make a profit. You know what I mean?
It's
So
like, like Morpheus told Neo, I can show you the door, but you're the one that has to walk through it.
exactly, exactly. So everyone has their own journey, and for me, I remember just relying on what other traders were doing on YouTube and everything, and I ended up realizing that it's all on me. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can do my research, but not everyone. If somebody tells you to buy a call and you end up losing money, are you going to be blaming that person, or are you going to blame yourself? You know what I mean? So
Right.
I had to teach myself how to have the right mentality and how to be content, because guess what, it's my own brokerage account, so I have to take accountability for the income. And this is where the beautiful thing is, because you're like, look, man, I need to pay rent for this month, so I will be making a consistent $100 a day, or a consistent $50 a day, and I'm happy with that, because
Mm-hmm.
that helps me with my livelihood and everything. So everybody has a different priorities. You know what I mean? It's not a one size fits all type of thing. Like I always say, everyone has their own priority. This is a journey that everybody can take and all that. So, um, but I think a great topic for today was that we did this live in action.
Yeah.
We did this live in action. You ended up making for $54 from this trade. You know what I mean? And now you have a tool, you have a skill that you can use now, and you can build it up from there. You know what I mean? And this is a journey right now, and how does it feel, sis? How are you feeling right now?
I feel wonderful.
Yeah.
I feel absolutely wonderful. I feel empowered
Hmm.
because it's something that, I've always wanted to learn
Yeah.
and just didn't have an understanding of it. It's just like the two things that, I was telling people on the stream before, that my lovely wife Jen, she taught me how to play poker. And I used to always hear people talk about their poker games and what they bet and how they did.
Hmm.
And I was always intrigued by it, but I never understood the ins and outs of how to play the game. Same with football. I'd look at the screen and I'd see, oh, he's at the 50-yard line, he's at first and 10. And I didn't know what the hell first and 10 meant. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like, hey, he's got to get three downs. You know what I mean? He can go for four, But the object of the game is to keep moving the chains every 10 yards. If you can keep getting 10 yards, you're good to go.
Hmm.
And it's like I didn't understand how that worked. And a lot of people don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
with this here, this is like a completely different animal. This is something that can control your future. This is something that our country was built on and has also killed our country. When we went through depressions when the market crashed. So, but at the end of the day, it's what builds fortunes, and it's a skill that you definitely need to take the time. You feel, listen, I'm taking a few hours, a few days, now that's going to last me the rest of my life to learn a skill that's going to last me the rest of my life. And the cool thing is,
Mhm.
playing the stock market doesn't care how old you are, it doesn't care what you look like. You feel me? If you can click a mouse or tap on your phone and you can see what you're doing, then that's all you need. You don't need to have the strongest arm strength. You don't need to be able to lift anything except your finger. That's something that a person who is 80 years old, if they still look at Warren Buffett, what's he like 150? Come on. You know what I mean? This guy's making money hand over
Yeah,
fist. And he's making more than half these athletes out here busting their ass on a field or on a court. And he's doesn't need to do anything but think.
but think exactly, exactly.
So
That's
this is something you get. I feel sorry for a lot of old people that are caught up in waiting on Social Security that never gained this skill
yeah.
because they wouldn't be worried about retirement.
That's right. That's right. I mean,
They would have retirement right here, setting it up every day.
every day, exactly. I think it's and especially in our community, I always say because you do have other communities that are they invest in stocks.
Our community on top of that, I mean, especially our community, they
Yeah,
don't teach this type of stuff
don't
in
teach that.
in black neighborhoods and in
No,
schools.
they
You know
don't.
what I mean?
Yeah, like my whole life, they didn't teach me that. Like my parents never taught me how to save, how to you know,
Because they weren't taught.
yeah, exactly. And they weren't taught, and it's a whole cycle
It's all relative, right?
already. And we need to change that.
Yeah.
We need to change that. It takes it. We have to change that, but it all takes. I think it's beautiful to see that happening and for you to realize, man, I can actually do this. You know what I mean? I can actually do this, and um and not have to step out of your house and having to work for somebody else.
Right.
And if people realize that they can do that, yes, it does come with a certain risk, but you can mitigate your risks. You know what I
By
mean?
doing your
By
research.
doing your research, but you can make a consistent income every single day and every single week. You can make an easy 200 to $300 and get out and not have to trade for the rest of the week. You can do that if you want to. Everyone has their own, you know, their own choice
Strategy.
and
Yeah.
strategy. Exactly. So, but I think it's so important, like for people to realize that they want to get to a financial, um, you know, for people to get out of that matrix, because we always talk about the matrices. You know what I mean? Like we all live within this matrix, right? Now, the people that do get out of that matrix are the ones that do the unconventional things. You know what I mean? The ones that actually want to see, feel like they can control their own destiny and not have to rely on what society has, you know, what like not have to pretty much rely on the stereotypes that society has created for us. You know what I mean? Because society has
Right.
did create also an economic structure that we can make money too. We can take advantage of. So why not do that? You know,
It's a capitalistic nation, society, right?
exactly. It's a capitalistic nation, and as much as people want to bash capitalism, this is it comes with its benefits as well. You
Yes,
know
it
what I mean?
does.
I'd rather be in a capitalistic society than a socialist country.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Where I don't really have many choices and I can't really control my own income. You know what I mean? So you can do that here in a capitalistic country, you can take advantage of that, and it's all in your hands. So I'm no one to make excuses for myself. It's time that you don't make for whoever watching, it's time that you don't make any you don't you stop making these excuses for yourself. You do deserve a life where you can actually make a constant income. Now, this may not be for you, options trading. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? If you know yourself, this may not be for you, or this may be for you. But there are many other ways you can make money, man, on your own. If you want to go into sales, or if you want to do Uber or Lyft, Instacart, Postmates, there are multiple ways you can make money. You know what I mean? You don't have to rely on one source of income from a corporation, man. You can really do this by yourself. You can be your own boss. You
Right.
know, and this morning, the beautiful thing when we did this together, sis, it was beautiful because you did this. You were like, wow, man, like I can do this. Like this is something I can wake up to and do this and take care of myself. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And take care of my my significant other. You know what I
And I
mean?
was excited to do it. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
I was stoked. It's like it's something that, if you find that you have a knack for it, it's
Hmm.
something that you can get excited about, to wake up to be able, oh, it's a whole fresh new day to make money. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Exactly. And what really got me excited, sis, is that I know with your business and you do charge a certain amount, you know, to people for doing intros and everything, graphic design and all that, because J&J Video is a business,
Yes.
for everybody that didn't know. I was saying J&J Video is a business. She's a corporation. She's her own entity. So you charge, obviously money for your own, for your, if somebody does require your services, well, you may pretty much an amount in a few minutes of one of pretty much the cost of one of your
That
services
is something that it would take me a day or 2 days to
to
come up with, to
come up
create.
to create. Yeah, exactly.
And see, that allows me to be able to do that now for leisure. Not that I wouldn't still continue to want to make money doing that,
Mhm.
but that allows me to now do that at my leisure. If I get a couple of intros for a week, that's awesome. But if with this backing it, it doesn't make me have to rely on it.
Exactly. Because imagine if you make a couple intros, right, and you get paid 250,
Yeah,
and that you do that, you get a couple intros for a month, and you make 250 out of it, but you're getting $50 every single day from this, you know, you end up making $250 on the side with your intros and your graphic designing, what and the services that you do provide, but as well you're making money on the daily with options trading as well. So you're making bonus on the side as well. It's a win-win.
right.
You know, I
You
think that's
can't
just
beat
the
that.
beautiful thing about it. You know what I mean? You are your own entity in all. You're making
Yes.
money both ways.
You
Man,
can't
tell me,
beat that. That's that. I mean, that's just that's crazy.
man, it
Vegan
only
knowledge
gets
is like,
better.
now we get good mind, body, and money. She said we're gonna heal the world. J&J Vegan Knowledge and J&J
And
and
Dollar D.
Dolla.
Dollar D. Man, you came up with that name. I was like, yo, this sister is crazy. I love
Yeah. But you know what? Hey, that's deep, Jen. That's how you do it. We gotta stop. That's something I always say. Stop working for money and start having money work for us. That's
it.
what this being able to do options trading brings to you.
Yeah, that's where it comes, man. That saying money grows on trees. This is what it is, man. People don't realize, man, the money can work for you, man. That's where you can really live your life.
Money is your can be your employee instead
Your
of you work for
employee,
it.
exactly. That's the way it's meant to be. You know what I mean? Your time is precious, man. Time doesn't always have to equal money. You know what I mean? If you're doing it for someone else, but you can have money can equal time too. You
Working
know,
for someone else, they can cap what you can make.
they can
You know
cap.
what I mean? It's like you can give, 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 but if all they're willing to pay you is X, then are you really getting your true worth?
Are you getting your true worth? Exactly. You know what I mean? So this is what it's about, man. Empowering people, man. Not taking advantage of people or whatever. Empowering people to a just be financially free. Take care of their bodies, as Jen said. You know what I mean? Take care of your health and your mind, like you always preach, sis. You
See,
know,
because here's the thing, it's all relative once again. If your mind and listen, your mind is going to help you take care of your body.
yeah,
If your body is healthy, it's going to also help you have a good mind. A healthy mind creates a healthy body, and a healthy body then in turn helps to maintain a healthy mind. If your mind and your body is healthy, you're going to come into what you're doing with this options trading already on the up and up
on the up.
because you're ready. Your brain is clear, your heart is clear, your soul is clear, and you're ready to just go forward and live in the moment and do what you can. And it helps you make better decisions.
Exactly. It helps you make better decisions. Sis, guess what? I don't feel comfortable trading if I'm stressed out. I really
See, there you go.
end up making the wrong decisions. It's all about emotions. Everything connects.
Yes.
So right, everything connects. You have to be healthy, mind and body wise, in order for you to make money. You know what I mean? And the thing is, a lot of people are stressed out going to their jobs every single day because they're stressed out because they have to answer to someone because they know that if they do end up getting fired or getting laid over, because especially during an uncertain time like the pandemic, they know that, man, they don't have any money to anything else to fall back on.
Right.
That's why they are stressed out. But
I
guess what?
mean, that's huge.
That's huge. Yeah.
Because think about it, everybody was trapped in the house. Where do you do your day trading?
In my house. Yep.
So it's like you if you were already doing this, the pandemic only made you money.
Oh,
Really, if you knew what you were doing.
exactly.
It wasn't something that hurt you. It
It
was something that you were already sitting in the house anyway
mm-hmm.
on your phone or on your computer
Exactly.
doing this, and
Exactly.
you learned how to make income based off of that.
Based off of that, exactly. And guess what? The thing is, people were, you know, don't understand that, you can do that from your own home. You don't need to go out there and actually get yourself stressed out. The things we're taught to do that. That's why a lot of us end up getting sick and everything and
Yeah.
not able to constantly go to a job and everything. We end up, a lot of us end up getting those diseases because we get stressed out going to a job that we don't want to do, you know.
Yes, sir.
So, so that it all is connected. So when you do rely on yourself, and I know that that is a scary thought for a lot of us, for a lot of people, to rely on themselves for for income. But when there are multiple ways to make income and you rely on yourself, you make it work. You have no choice but to make it work. You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
proven method to make money. It's not like you're going out there and only making only commission, man. You know what I mean? You can make commission, make money, but dude, there's Uber Eats, there's DoorDash and all that. Just get out and
Which
make
we
money.
do, you know what I
You
mean?
can do
Because
this.
why wouldn't we do that? We've got 10 years experience doing that. So in a way, even though it kind of hurt our business in some ways, it was like, hey, but who's better at it than us? We ran the whole back end. Now
Yeah,
all we got to do is sit back and just get an order. We were
exactly.
talking about that last night. We controlled everything. We took the order in, processed it, processed the credit card, placed the order with the restaurant, dispatched a driver, and if there was no driver, we went and did the order. We
Yeah.
had to do all of that. Now all we got to do is just sit back and wait for order to come to our phone. It's heaven.
It's heaven, man.
Because we were on the back end of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is a very hectic business to run because it's very time sensitive. Do you think? And Domino's is to blame for that. Oh, we'll get your pizza to you in a half an hour. You don't have to pay nothing. That spoiled people.
Yeah.
So for years, everybody expected to get their food in a half an hour. Well, and if you're stuck in traffic and you get somebody's food to them an hour later, oh, you would hear about it.
You'll hear about it for sure.
I'm not paying for that. And especially if you pay for the food up front, there were quite a few nights where Jen and I had to eat food because somebody wouldn't take it at the door because they were pissed off because it was either late or something was wrong. You know what I mean? It happens. But
Yeah.
it's just like this market. There's going to be some days where you're going to have to eat it. But if you
Lose.
stay consistent, ultimately you're going to gain more than you lose.
Exactly. You guys stay consistent. You know what I mean? You're right, sis. And you do go through these up and downs. And you have to be comfortable with that. Just being your own business entity. You know, you have to go through these ups and downs. All right, no problem, sis. But yeah, you have to go through these ups and downs. In order to feel comfortable. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to get to that comfortable side if you're uncomfortable with losing money. you know it's essential for you to go through that development in order to become the person that you are. If you want to get your financially free state, you're going to start with bumps in the road. You're going to have rocks and that you have to step on in order to get you where you're at. It's never going to be a straightforward or smooth path. So for anybody that does decide to have their own business or do options trading, doesn't even need to be options trading. Like I said, it can just be you having your own DoorDash or doing Uber Eats or Uber driving or Lyft. It can just be you deciding to do that on a full-time basis and not have to rely and go to and work for a corporation every single day and clock in. It can just be you doing that. But I will say this: it's the best choice. It's the best choice because you rely on yourself. You don't have to rely on anybody else but you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that what you did today really was great because you really saw that this works, because it's one thing to talk about it, but it's one
And
thing to
another to completely jump in and do it.
exactly, and you saw it for yourself that this is something that is totally doable and that works, you know. So I love this, man.
Shout out to Dollar D, baby. Day two. Woo! Yesterday was theory. We put it into action. After we got off the stream yesterday, we put it into action this morning. I am learning a life skill that I can take with me for the rest of my life. And DZ, I love you for showing me this, brother.
Love you.
And it's just practice, and I'm looking forward to even more lessons from you
No,
later on in the week.
yo, no problem, sis, man. I love you, sis. Thank you so much. And congrats on making your first $50 today, 54 to be exact. But
I'll
no,
never forget it. The very first day I made some money in the stock market,
yeah,
like on my own with somebody. You know what it was like? It was like jumping out of an airplane tandem.
yep. That's it. That's
You
it.
know, it's like okay, do this, do that. You know what I mean? And the guy's he's on top. He's making sure that he can pull the cord and make sure you both don't die. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, you want to do this, you want to do that. See what
Yeah.
that is. See what that is. Now you just wait. You know what I mean? See how it's going up. You stepped me through it, and I will never forget that, and I'm sure we're going to do that a few more times before I'm able to do it on my own, but eventually I will be able to do it on my own, and then we can compare notes.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We'll definitely do that. You know what I mean? and that's what I love. It's the journey, that we go through that. But we the fact that we're able to collaborate and you know s- see, hey, I made this today, or I lost this. Oh, why did you lose this? Oh, because I did this. Having those sort of conversations together, I think that would be beautiful. And
Right.
can't wait for you to go through like really talk for you to really go through this journey that you just started yesterday, and you tell me about it, and I'll tell you what I did too as well. So I think it's great. The more people do it, the better, man, because we can all be a whole community of people that can really teach each other and learn from each other as well, and not only do option trading but buy stocks. You know what I mean? Get educated, like you said. Yeah, get educated, buy stocks. You know, focus on long-term growth, but also making an income for yourself and knowing how to make an income for yourself. So I feel it's beautiful, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I thank you for getting me involved. Hey, man, how about that Hornets and Bulls game, though, last night, right?
Oh, that was great, man. Oh man,
Woo!
that was great, man. The Bulls came out on top, but it was great seeing Lamelo, Alonzo going at it with each other. Those back-to-back threes from Lonzo, and the Lamelo goes after. Like, oh, that was beautiful, man.
Yeah, man, it
Looking
absolutely
forward.
was.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm happy for those boys, man. Shout out to LeVar and Tina, man. They were at the game yesterday,
I
and
saw.
shout out to AB the hero because he was at the game as well. And I think
Was AB there?
yeah, AB was there in Chicago. Yeah, yeah.
What?
AB from Chicago as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Channel a video that he just made, and the thumbnail had him, LeVar and Tina there, but
Nice.
shout out to AB, but definitely the whole it was a great game from those two. Shout out to LeVar and Tina. Like these, I'm so happy for them. For those two, for to see your true sons, you know, perform at a world stage and everybody's watching and they're doing so well for their respective teams. um
Yeah.
that is a proud moment, and I'm so happy for them, for that whole family, especially after all they went through. We may all have our own perspectives of what happened with Triple B, or what's going on with Triple B, with Big Baller Brand, but man, that
At the
doesn't.
end of the day, that has nothing to do with me. It doesn't put any money in my pocket or take any money out of my pocket. That's that man's concerns to worry about. You
It
know what
is
I mean?
exactly.
And it's like, it's not going to make me feel one way about him, just because something happened bad in his business. You know what I'm saying? People could say things about us in our business. You know what I mean? We didn't always make the absolute right decisions either. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. And he raised three sons that he predicted were going to go in the NBA. And he has three sons in the NBA.
Yeah, BA. Yep.
And even though the G League is the G League, it's still the NBA G League. It's a branch off of the NBA. So I still consider Jello sort of in the NBA, not quite fully initiated yet, but he's at least on the brim of it.
He's on the brim of it, and exactly. So they're all in there, and for his sons should be there. That's really what matters, man. For his sons should be performing at a high level, and for Tina as well, to see that, everyone should be. You have to take away your emotions and just
Yeah.
things like that, and just see it like it is, and don't judge. Yeah, we judge and everything. We're victims of that, of course. You know what I mean? But you cannot take away. That doesn't take away the great job that Lavar has done and Tina have.
Yeah.
Great job that both of them have done. To see their sons there. So let's not take away the credit, because one thing Lavar that definitely teaches a lot of us is that ruling class mentality.
Yes.
He has a ruling class mentality. He does not make any excuses. You know what I mean? And that might rub a lot of people the wrong way and all that. That's fine, but he did it. You know what I mean? How
Yep.
he's out there that he people may not agree with it. I agree. I agree with what what he did. You know what I mean? And he got it and he did it. You know what I mean? So I have no issues with that. You
Yep.
know, everyone should learn from such from that. Now you're not going to agree with everything that a person does, but you're going to like there sometimes you may not agree with it, but you understand the reasons why they did that. You know what I mean? So for me,
Right.
that's how I look at love war. You know what I mean? And for
Yeah.
two sons should be there at in the biggest stage right there and doing it, man, you cannot hate on that. You cannot hate
No.
on that. And if you don't like that, and if you still hate him, or if you're gonna shit on the other son and raise the other son, then I don't know what you're doing, man. I really don't. And it's very sad. And I know we all have our favorite sons, our
You
favorite
see who
boys.
my favorite is right on the
Mhm.
screen,
Yeah.
right?
But
But it's
one thing
like
I
I love
love,
the family. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So I love
exactly.
all of them.
Yeah, one thing I love about you, JJ, is that you never shitted on on the other guys, on the other sons. Like I know Lamelo is your favorite one, but you never shitted on Zoe, on or Jello. You had your, criticisms of them and everything, but you never,
Yeah,
called
because
them,
I want all of them to do well
them
ultimately.
to do was that they give credit where it's due. Lonzo played a great game last night. You know what I mean? Lamelo played, he played he started out pretty slow, and he played well in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I will give a shout out to Lonzo. Lonzo came back, and shout out to Flight Sports. You know, Lonzo is Flight's boy,
Yeah,
and Flight is a huge Lonzo fan. And they were it was so funny because it was two sides of the panel. It was all, and the cool thing about that channel is they also support all the Ball brothers, even though Flight has his favorite in Lonzo. And I have my favorite in LaMelo. You have Dexterius Crockett over there. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Rave Kingdom. Shout out to all those guys. Nico Savage. I mean, you have all of those guys who go either way because at one point I was like, well, what's Melo's numbers right now? What's
yeah,
Lonzo's numbers right now? It was back and forth. There was no, oh well, he's shit. Oh, he's shit. And if it was a healthy rivalry. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything where anybody was bashing any one of the other brothers. Jello's name even got tossed around about what's happening with him in the G League. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, is to me is a monstrosity. I mean, the NBA is really eating off of his image and his likeness. And
yeah.
if he doesn't care because he's already a millionaire that they're not playing him, then so be it. But I'm sure Jello wants to play at some point.
Oh yeah, he definitely
Okay.
play. Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure he wants to play at some point. So it's like, I think
yeah,
it's wrong that they're capitalizing on his image and not really giving him time on the court, you know?
yeah. That's not fair on Jalen. I hope that he does get consistent time there. But yeah, I'm in the same boat like you. I don't understand what they're doing.
Yeah.
Um, the Greensboro Swarm. So I hope that they fix that, and because he scored 22 points in his first game out.
And
So
hasn't been on the floor for that much many minutes since.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like that leads me to ask questions like, okay, what happened there? So I hope
Yeah.
that they fix that. But all in all, really, I really like where it's going, what they're doing right now, and I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to I'm just really
I'm
looking
looking
forward,
forward to seeing
you know,
him play and all of that.
to play.
So,
Yeah,
well, DZ, thanks once again for enlightening us with the well training that we've been doing.
no, no
And
problem. Same
thanks
to
again for stepping me through this morning and making my first 50 on Wall
yeah,
Street. Woo! Doing the options
yes,
trading. I'm
man.
completely stoked. Thanks to everybody who showed up in the chat. Vegan Knowledge, thank you, my sweetie. Always supporting and always with me in my corner. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony King, for showing up. Anybody who's listening, don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. And please share if you care on all forms of social media. DZ, you got anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Oh no, thank you so much for bringing me, sis. Thank you, I appreciate you. And make sure y'all go like and subscribe. To J and J video. Sister J always putting the hard work out here to bring you this sort of amazing,
Oh
great.
my God, speaking of Flight, he played my intro last night, one of those original intros. I'm like,
Uh,
wow, he took it back. That was awesome. So shout out to Flight for doing that
yes,
and trying to get a sister some business. I appreciate it.
yeah, that's great, man. Shout out your flight, Sports TV, and yeah, man. Make sure
Hey,
you.
you know who's doing lives? I saw Juju did a live last night.
Oh, Juju. Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, he had Coach Joe and DJ on there. And it
That's
was late too, because I'm getting an alert, because I think I'm subscribed to him,
yeah,
and all of a sudden it comes up. I'm like, what? So they were burning the midnight oil last night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if I think they're out on the West Coast though, so it's probably 10 something over
yeah,
there. But it was like 1:30 over here, and I'm like, what?
yeah,
And it
yeah,
was really cool. You know what I mean? I'm proud to see that brother growing into his own. I
yeah.
really do believe that he is somebody that's going to be really good on YouTube, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he'd make an awesome sports announcer. He's got a voice for it, he's got a personality for it, and shout out to Juju for making it happen on your live stream, brother. Keep it going.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Juju No Suits, man, and they coined Dex started they coined the term superstar Jew, man. He's definitely a superstar there, man. He has a lot of he has definitely the skill and the intelligence, man. He's a very talented brother out here, so I think he's gonna do wonders, on YouTube, and I'm truly glad. I'm so glad to see he's progress, man. It's beautiful, and same thing goes for Fly, Fly Sports TV. You know what I mean, and even New Media. You know what I mean, Rev and all the other guys, man.
Hey,
They
good luck to him. Good luck to him. I
and
have no hate in my heart for those people,
yeah,
and I wish them well.
yeah,
And it's just time to keep it moving.
that,
DKM, all of them. They're,
yeah,
at the end of the day, we're all human beings, and we all make mistakes, and we all misinterpret things. But at the end of the day, it's how you get up. It's not about staying down. It's about getting up and moving forward.
exactly. You know what I mean. So all the brothers and sisters, this is what it's about. Financial literacy and being your own boss and everything, and being able to so it's not only financial freedom doesn't only involve making money, but it also involves empowering each other and making each other feel good and
Absolutely,
not bringing each other down. You know what I mean? So we all go through
absolutely.
this journey. We have to empower each other, stop bringing each other down. So that's what it's about.
All right. Well, with that being said, everybody take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And we out.
Been listening to the Midday Meltdown Party Over Here with J&J Video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're feeling the vibe, and please share if you care on all forms of social media. You can support the content on this channel by donating to the Cash App link that's been provided in the description of this video. Thanks again for listening. Peace and blessings.